To solve a systems of equations by graphing, we first need to have the ability to rewrite an equation in slope-intercept form. So what is slope-intercept form? Slope-intercept form takes the form of y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope of the line. The slope of a line is the steepness of the line. It is the number in front of x. That is the slope. B represents the y-intercept. The y-intercept. It is where the line crosses the y-axis. It's where the line crosses the y-axis. As you can tell, in slope-intercept form, we have essentially solved the equation for y. Y is on one side, everything else is on the other side. That is our goal when rewriting an equation in slope-intercept form. So let's look at a few examples here. The first equation we have is 3x minus y equals 6. 3x minus y equals 6. Our goal is to rewrite this equation in slope-intercept form. So we need y on one side, everything else on the other. To do that, we're going to follow the same 5 steps to solve equations that we have been following. Every cowboy gets nervous sometimes. I have no parentheses to eliminate, and I have no like terms to combine. I need to get my variable on one side, get the y by itself. And so to do that, let's subtract 3x from both sides. I subtract 3x from both sides. So those 3x's cancel. Notice here when I subtracted 3x, I did not put it under the 6 because this is not a constant term. This is an x term, and so you need to create its own column. So on the left side, I have negative y, right? Bring the equal sign down. I have 6 minus 3x. Now, because we want slope-intercept form, we want the x term first. The x term first, and then the constant term. And so here's our x term. Is this term positive or negative? It's negative, right? Because of that minus sign. So I have negative 3x. Here's my constant term, right? The number with no variable next to it. Is this 6 positive or negative? Well, there's no negative sign in front of it, and so it is positive. So I put a plus sign, positive 6. All right, so 6 minus 3x, that's the same thing as negative 3x plus 6. And so now my equation is negative y equals this. I don't want to know what negative y is, I need to know what y is. And so to solve for y, I'm going to divide by that coefficient, divide by the number in front of y, which is negative 1. Now if I divide the left side by negative 1, I should also divide the right side by negative 1. Or another way to say that is to divide every single term by the same number. Divide every single term by negative 1. So the negative 3x term gets divided by negative 1. This 6 term gets divided by negative 1. Now let's go through and simplify. Well, here I have negative 1 over negative 1y. That is simply y. Y equals, which is what I want. I want to know what y equals. Here I have negative 3 over negative 1, right? This part is negative 3 over negative 1. What is negative 3 over negative 1? That is simply 3. Don't forget your variable. This is 3x. 3x. Here I have 6, or positive 6 over 1. 6 divided by negative 1, that is negative 6. And so this right here is my equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals 3x minus 6. Now let's identify the m, the slope. Remember m, the slope, is the number in front of x. And so as you can see here, the number 3 is the number before x. So m, our slope, equals 3. So we have positive 3 as our slope. We have positive slope. What is our b? What is our y-intercept? Well, it's this number right here. And what is this number? This is negative 6. Negative 6. So b, the y-intercept, equals negative 6. That's where it crosses the y-axis. Okay. Next one. This is number 17. 4y minus 10x equals 20. I need to solve for y. So get y on the side by itself. To do that, I need to move this 10x term to the other side. Right now I'm subtracting, so to move it, I would add 10x. Add 10x to both sides so that those 10x's cancel. I'm left with 4y on the left side. Bring the equal sign down. Over here I have 20 plus 10x. Let's put the x term first. The x term is positive, so positive 10x. And this is positive 20, so I'm going to write positive or plus 20. 20. Okay? Now I need to solve for y. How do I solve for y? Well, I'll divide by that number in front of y, which is 4. Divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4, right? Every single term in the equation gets divided by the same number. And so here I have 4 over 4y. That is simply y, or 1y. Here I have 10 over 4. Okay, this is a fraction, 10 over 4. Can I simplify 10 over 4? Well, they're both even numbers, right? And all even numbers are divisible by 2. And so if I divide 10 over 4 by 2 over 2, I would get 5 over 2, right? 10 over 4 is the same thing as 5 over 2, or 5 halves. Don't forget your x. So this is 5 halves x. Here I have 20 over 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5, so positive 5. This right here is in slope-intercept form because I have y on one side, everything else on the other. Y equals 5 halves x plus 5. So what's m? What is the slope? Here's the x term. The number before it is 5 halves. So m is 5 halves. That's our slope. You can leave it as improper. It is simplified, but it's improper. That's okay. Next, what's b? What's the y-intercept? Here this is positive 5. So b is 5. That's where it crosses the y-axis.